Hello and welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the expression number 5 reading. So your expression number talks about your potential, right? So you have the potential to be a 5. Fives are adventurers. They're very resourceful. They're curious about life, the experiences around them, and they like to jump in and expand their own energy into the world around them. 5 is also about being a visionary. They set their sight on something and then they go after it. A lot of times 5s are just ever changing, right? Always trying new things, always moving to different places, just very curious about life and what it offers. Sometimes it can be hard to kind of settle for too long as a 5. So those could be some of the energies that you're familiar with, but nonetheless, you have the potential of being just this curious ball of fire. So let's talk about this 5 card spread. It's kind of like a progress report to tell us where we are on our path to our potential. So first card is going to tell you what's over and done with. Card number 2 talks about what's over but the effects still linger. Card number 3 is where you're heading. Card number 4, this is what you're expecting. And finally, card number 5 reveals what you are supposed to learn from this situation. And then to the far right, we'll review the bottom of each deck I used. And I did have 2 extra cards come out, so I'll be sure to reference those in the end. All right, so let's talk about space number 1. This is over and done with. All right, so first card says experience the passion of fire. So immediately I feel like there could have been a period in life where things were dull. They felt dead. They felt dark. They felt gloomy. They just lacked fire. They lacked movement. It felt like, things were just dreary. And so that part of life is over, and you're stepping into an awakening, a spark, a new beginning, a new start. It says reignite your life force by gazing into a cozy fire, recharging in the sunlight, or lighting a candle. Allow fire to spark your vision and vitality. And so 5s, you're coming alive again. We talked about you naturally being just very curious and adventurous and ready to go after the things that you are dreaming up. And if there was a period where things seemed to be dull, unalive, things are changing now. Something is about to ignite. Something is about to set you ablaze, so to speak, right? So beneath the experience, passion of fire, we literally have the Ace of Cups. Now, just for a moment, I love when images sync up. Look at the hands on the Ace of Cups, and then look at the hands on the experience of passion of fire. Very similar images, and so this talks about literally something is really coming alive and your heart is about to be engaged. And so if there was a period in the past where you weren't really acknowledging what your heart wanted or what you needed to feel alive in this life, that's over and done with. And now we're moving into this new time where you have a new start in love, a new start in relationships. And if it doesn't involve another, this just means that your heart is back online, right? And when our heart is open, when we have no blocks, when we're listening and being honest with what we want and what we desire, and when we follow the movement of our heart, we are really moving closer to our purpose. Beneath the Ace of Cups, it says honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And so if you were in situations with people, places, and things, and they really weren't a reflection of what you wanted for yourself, or if they really didn't make you come alive, if they weren't fulfilling, if they weren't engaging, if they didn't allow you to be the best version of yourself, I think that's over and done with. And now, because you're willing to accept and acknowledge what you need from yourself without putting others to that task, I think that you are really stepping into your own ability to really make this life what you want it to be, right? So sometimes we can kind of force people, places, and things to get us right, but in the end, it's always going to be wrong. This is really about you taking control and saying, listen, this is what I want. I'm in charge of me. I'm expanding myself in this way. I'm going after it. And it is that mindset that brings you this new start, this new beginning. Card number 2 talks about what's over, but the effects still linger. It says stop trying to fix people. It is not your job to fix anyone. Allow people the dignity of their own path. And so, fives, you are pretty magnetic, and so people are drawn to you. And so there could have been situations where you were tied into others, and maybe you saw some things that they could have done better. Maybe you saw some patterns of behavior that they could have left behind. And because of that, you could have invested self a little too much into the path of another while neglecting your own. And so this is a time where you really take all the energy that you've put out into people, places, and things. You look at yourself holistically, and then you say, what could I better do with my time? What could I better do with me? Where is it that I want to go? Where is my path taking me? And this is about making you your own priority. So beneath that card, we have the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of planning, expansion, moving forward, right? And so once you decide to pull your energy back from other people, places, and things, and you allow everything else to just find its own way as it naturally should, you can focus on where you're going. And that's what that Three of Wands says. You've got the fire, you've got the life force, you've got the creativity, you've got the joy and the excitement of doing what you love or going after whatever it is that makes you come alive. And so you are in this position now where you're releasing those people, places, and things that you were investing in, and you're really taking that energy and putting it into self. Beneath the Three of Wands, we have gratitude, right? I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So even when we look behind us at relationships or connections with others that really seem to not bear fruit, the fruit that they gave actually encouraged you to focus on self, right? And so even if those situations didn't amount to the outcome that you once thought they did, you're grateful for them, because even if they didn't prosper, the fact that they didn't allows you to redirect your energy to guarantee that you prosper in this next moment. Card number 3 says where I'm heading. Right? So it says identify your emotional triggers. We absorb the emotions of others that remain unhealed in ourselves. Notice your triggers, such as anger and fear, and gently begin to heal them. So, where are you heading? To a place of healing. This is when you are able to look at yourself and say, why does this piss me off? Why does this irritate me? What is it? Why do I feel this knot in my chest? Why is it that I can't move past this? And so sometimes some of the things that you carry are really not yours. And so this is being mindful of who you surround yourself with. So when we have that card about stop trying to fix people, listen, that energy is better used when you invest it in yourself. And so Spirit is just asking you to be mindful of why you do what you do and how you're feeling when you do the things that you do, right? Just understand where your energy is going, where your thoughts are going. How are you speaking? How are you thinking? Is something setting you off that kind of pushes you back to these old negative patterns of behavior? Whatever that is, it needs to be healed. And it may not even be yours. It could be things that are still laying dormant in with you that were kind of seeded by other people, places, and things. And so this is about a healing, and this is about a purging. Now, the beautiful thing is that as you identify your emotional triggers, as you become aware of self in all aspects, beneath this card is the Queen of Pentacles. So it's almost like all you got to do is dust yourself off. You've kind of like rectify what's happening within you so that you can get to the greatest version of you, which is coming out as the Queen of Pentacles. Remember, this third card talks about where you're heading. You're heading into this energy of abundance and prosperity. This is a card of a beautiful home and a beautiful body. Your first home is your human body, your vessel. And so when you can understand the things that are pushing and pulling your vessel in the wrong direction, once you can conquer them and overcome them, it's almost like you allow yourself to bloom into what you are really supposed to do and be and represent. Queen of Pentacles is about beauty, luxury. It's a card of, giving and receiving. This is somebody that's very abundant. This is somebody that is not afraid to provide, to give, to mother, to nurture, and to offer self to others, but from a healthy place that's not self-deprecating, right? And so once you follow your passion, once you pull your energy back, once you accept what it is that you need, listen, the Queen of Pentacles all of a sudden arrives. Beneath the Queen of Pentacles, we have change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And so as soon as you make that internal change, your outside world begins to look a lot different, right? And who's mad at the Queen of Pentacles showing up? No one, right? That is where you're heading. Card number 4 talks about what I expect. What do you expect? It says, practice humility. Approach life humbly. No one is better than another. Keep your ego in check. Humility is the practice of being simple and valuing simple things. And so this could be the mantra that you live by, and this could be, the unspoken requirement that you have for the people, places, and things that you engage with. It's the simple life, right? And it's realizing that your ego is always going to tell you that you need all of these things to be content and fulfilled. But we know that it's never enough. It's always going to need more. And so this is trying to find just that simple thread that you can keep yourself tied to, no matter the situation, that just keeps you grounded. It keeps you stable, right? It lets you know that we are all a part of a whole. None of us can go anywhere. We're all here on earth, and no matter how hard you work to have or to earn or to achieve, you're still on earth. We're still breathing the same air, still drinking the same water, still driving on the same roads. We are all here together. And so that seems to be something that you understand. And when you can live in a way that's humble, when you understand that it's really about the simple things that mean the most to me, fulfillment is almost easy to come by at that point. Beneath practice humility, we have the 8 of Cups. And so you're expecting to find value in simple things. And you want the people, places, and things that surround you to respect that level of humility. You want them to represent that level of humility. So we have the 8 of Cups, which literally talks about moving away, walking away from something that you invested in. And what would cause you to walk away? It's because you know that something else out there holds the key to what truly fulfills you, right? So 8, you've put work in, and you're not afraid to put work in elsewhere. And so this is moving on, right? This is searching for the fulfillment that you know is still there. And once you realize that the ego led you to a direction that never was fulfilling, this walking away becomes easy. You're walking away towards your happiness, and that could be a simple life where less is truly more. Beneath the 8 of Cups, we have happiness. It says, I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And so sometimes, our emotions, we talked about emotional triggers and making sure that what we were feeling and thinking was really ours, and then healing the things that kind of take us to these dark places, whenever the past tends to resurface. And so as you walk away from where the ego has led you, you're really moving onto a path of purpose. Your happiness only exists when you are in the right place at the right time, when you are literally authentically living you through and through. And that's where you're going to. It doesn't require any assets. It just requires you being honest and truthful with yourself. Happiness doesn't look like having a certain thing or in a certain amount of things. It's not about a quantity, but it's about the quality. It's about the quality of the energy that you are moving and living in. And that's what you are now valuing and understanding. So, card number 5 talks about, what am I supposed to learn? Like, why was this situation even necessary? Why did this even come up? Well, we have retreat to the natural world. Retreat to the natural world. Go where you feel most alive. A peaceful forest, the mountains, your local park. Let the ocean roar through you. Be revived by nature's wonder. Like, I just got the idea, this is kind of the energy of saying, like, I'm walking away from all this stuff, right? And my peace is in nature. Like, I can get a tent. I can build me a garden. I can have me an RV. This is about the simple life. This is about the simple life, but Earth is beautifully complex. And so walking away from all this man-made noise and chatter and all these societal things that we are just immersed in, walking away from that at times can be a path to your peace. But it can be kind of scary, especially if for a while your ego told you all the different things you needed to take part in to truly be happy, right? But this is about being honest with yourself and saying, where is my heart leading me? I'm grateful for where I've been, but it's time for me to expand. I'm unafraid to change the things that are holding me back. Any triggers that don't represent my greatest self, like, I have to acknowledge them, I have to check them, and I have to meet myself where I am. I can't move beyond my emotional maturity. Like, I really need to handle the things that tend to hinder me in some kind of way. Your happiness is your priority. And when I'm happy, I'm on the right path. And maybe my path is a path where I don't require much. Maybe it's a path that is really about me retreating to this natural world. Under that card, we have the Magician. This is about creating, setting intentions, manifesting, and taking action. Once you walk away from what no longer is fulfilling, what are you walking into? What are you willing to do to go after what it is you want in this life? And that is the lesson that you were supposed to learn. Once you're honest with yourself, once you accept what truly is for you, what truly your heart is pulling you to, then you got to go after it. You have to. And 5s, you're not afraid to do it. Based on these cards on this table, you are unafraid. You are ready. This is the space you're in. Beneath the Magician, we have adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So there's that gratitude. When you look back at life and you see all those obstacles and challenges that you had to overcome, like, this is really about being grateful for them. 1, because you overcame them and you didn't quit, but 2, because they helped shape you into who you are right now and who you're walking into. So that was the point of all of this. 1, to realize that challenges are never an indication that you need to quit. They actually mean that you are in a lesson. They're almost like an AP class. In high school, those honors classes, those AP classes, those are challenges and obstacles, right? You're getting more, you're having to do more, because in the end you're becoming more, right? And so it may be hard initially, but the beauty on the other side is revealed in your expansion, in your growth. Okay? So let's look at the cards at the bottom of each deck. To the far right at the top, we have let go of being a martyr. Find a balance between giving and receiving. It's not healthy to give so much that you feel ill or exhausted. And so, this is pretty much saying you have to be mindful of where you put your energy. Not everybody, people, places, and things are a part of your path. They're not all a part of your happiness. And everything that you were tied to is not always a reflection of what is meant for you. But sometimes when we're in this energy of being the provider or the protector or the lover or the nurturer, sometimes we can carry more than we are supposed to. Sometimes we can carry other people's stuff. and none of us are here to carry other people's stuff, right? We are living this life, we're carrying our own story, and we're supposed to use our story to help another carry their stuff. And so when we talk about being a martyr, this is saying, I got my stuff and you got yours. I'll help you the best way I can, but I can't carry it, right? Because when I take on too much, when I take on things that don't belong to me, I have no energy to do what I'm supposed to do for me. I'm in a state of exhaustion, which is not good for anyone. So as soon as you let go of being a martyr and taking on things that don't belong to you, you become light. You can float, you become healthy, you become balanced. Things are equal. You attract people, places, and things that give to you just as easily and equally as you give to them. And how beautiful is it that at the bottom of the tarot deck we have the Two of Cups. That was the card that came out. And so 2 is about balance and harmony and adaptability, but this is about cups. This is about emotional connections. This is about finding, this could be a card of soulmates, but it's about finding those like-minded people, places, and things that give exactly what you give to them. So maybe this is real relationship. We had the Ace of Cups to start it off, right? So there is a new start in love. And when you follow the path to you, when you follow you, maybe you follow yourself so well that you find a relationship that is vibrating perfectly for you. You find your match. When you show up for you, those that are divinely designed for you can now show up too. So if this is love, then that's beautiful. You've attracted a companion that is not going to require you to carry their stuff, right? If this is not a relationship, this is just saying that the experiences and the energies that are coming into your life are going to be balanced and harmonious, and they are going to feel like they were sent for you, but it's only because you first sent for you. You went after you. You acknowledged you. You were honest with you and what you want and need in this life. And as soon as you do that, you start to welcome in the people, places, and things that live by that mantra. Beneath the Two of Cups, we have indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of life. And so any situation that we are in this earthly life, any challenge, any dilemma, any obstacle, anything we face is meant for us, and it's a challenge that we can overcome. So when you get to these roadblocks, when you're not sure how to go forward, when you're not sure how to approach situations, people, places, and things, right? Because you always want to move towards your happiness. You want to know that you're on the right path. But sometimes you have to make adjustments, right? Sometimes you may have to release people, places, and things. Sometimes you may have to move to a different location. 5 is a number of change, right? And so change is nothing that you are afraid of. But sometimes we're not quite sure how to change or who can be a part of our change. And so indecision, this card says that when we don't have the answers, when we can't come up with them mentally, tap in, silence yourself, find your own solitude, and realize that any situation you're in, it's because you have the answer, right? Let's talk about the 2 extra cards that came out. So we have the Hanged Man. This is about surrender. This is about stopping and not acting, which can be hard for a 5, because 5s, you really love adventure. You love to get going. You love adapting. You love change. Like, you love really engaging with this life in so many different ways. And so the Hanged Man can be a challenge, because for once you have to stop and you have to buckle all that energy down so that you can listen. But the only way you're going to tap into your intuition and truly hear where it's leading you and guiding you is if you stop and stand still. And so this moment of surrender, it looks like a total stop or a pause, but it's really going to accelerate and advance you later. But you have to be willing sometimes to stop and to listen. Next to the Hangman, the other extra card we have was denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And so surrender can be scary, right? And so sometimes denial is like, I know I need to do this, but I just really don't want to, because if I do this, then everything that I've always been fearful of is going to happen. Right? But it's in the surrender that you can make peace with all the fears that are pushing you into this state of disbelief. Right? And so you almost have to look at your fears, and you have to replace your fears with insight and awareness. But you can't get to that place. You can't overcome the fear. You can't move past the denial unless you stop and surrender to something bigger and greater than you. Right? And something bigger and greater has created this entire story, and we are all chapters and characters in a cosmic story, and we're not always going to know or have the answers. And it's in those moments when we say, hey, if I don't know where I'm going or what to do, I kind of need to stop and listen. Right? And when you stop and listen, anything that surfaces is really coming from your heart and your intuition. It's something that you can trust. Right? Now, if you never stop and you just go, your ego is always convincing you that it knows best. But at some point, you have to acknowledge, I don't know where to go from here. I don't know if I'm supposed to go left, right? Am I supposed to turn around? Am I supposed to be involved in this? Am I supposed to? It takes a while to kind of figure out your path and your happiness, but the idea is that you never gave up. You never quit, right? You kept your energy high. Look at the cards that we have for your soul's journey. We have honesty, gratitude, change, happiness, adversity. These are cards of the overcomer. These are cards of a person that didn't stop. The Hanged Man is literally stopping and surrendering, but it's even in stillness that something is still actively happening. It's not physical movement, but it's internal movement, right? It's intuitive movement. And so fives, you're making changes, but it seems like most of these changes first happened within you. And soon you will start to see your environment reflect all the work that you've done. But this is about you having faith and really making the main thing the main thing. What are you here for? What are you going to do? What are you supposed to do? What is it that you're attracting? What is it that brings you peace? What are you carrying that isn't yours? Right? And if nature is a place where you go for peace and solace, and maybe that's where you need to step into that kind of space in order to surrender. Maybe you need to put yourself in an environment that brings you comfort in order to truly surrender and hear, so you can manifest and overcome whatever the challenge or the obstacle, or it doesn't matter. You can get through it all. It's just about putting yourself in the right energy in order to do that. Fives, you're beautiful people, and I'm so hoping that this reading was beneficial to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take care.